Last week, I shared with you guys how I was feeling earlier this spring, so much burnout. It felt as if the things that I had to do, I could not physically or mentally or emotionally do. Like I couldn't do it. So it began this long conversation I had with friends, which is just my favorite thing to do, is to have conversations about things that are interesting to me at the moment with my friends, to get their insight and their input mixed with mine. It just makes it all better. We understand it more. And so we started talking about this idea of rest and how do you do it? And if you saw last week, you'll know that we came to the conclusion through a Michael Jordan documentary that there was two components that seemed to be really important. One was rest. And we said rest is the subtraction of something, whether that's the subtraction of people or a subtraction of a phone, distraction, being in quiet, being in nature. Rest equals subtraction. But today we want to talk about the second component to avoid burnout, which is to refuel. So if resting is subtraction, refueling, we can think of that as addition. So just like last week when my friends had really great ideas about resting, they've got some good ideas about refueling, and that's what we're talking about today. When I think about refueling, well, I literally think about like refueling my car, giving it gas so it has the energy that it needs to get to where I need to go. And in the same way, that's the way I look at refueling. It's adding something to my day that gives me energy. It gives me life. It gives me what I need to make it through the rest of the week. And as I was thinking about this, the idea of rest and refueling, I started to realize that with rest and the subtraction of, a lot of times it's by myself. That's not always the case, but as a broad rule of thumb, rest typically for me and how I'm wired, I know it's not everyone, but it's going to be the subtraction of people, subtraction of noise, subtraction of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's very quiet for me. That's rest. And refueling is the exact opposite, at least for me. It tends to have people in it, which is surprising to me. Over these last 6 months or so, I've realized how much I need my friends. I need my people. It's this growing, eye-opening insight that I've had where it's like, no, I don't kind of need people sometimes to refuel. Typically, I'm gonna need someone there with me because I don't bring a whole lot of energy to my life or to my day. I surround myself with people who have really high energy. That's what I'm attracted to. That's what I married. That's what my closest friends are. They're very energetic people. And to refuel, I need some of their input and energy in me. And this looks like, with 5 or 6 friends, maybe it's our couple friends, or maybe it's my female friends, but a good lunch or a good dinner together where we are laughing and joking and also talking about the things that matter, like the deep things that matter. That is refueling. It's energizing to me. Also, I love a good, lively debate. That gives me so much energy. I'm not in places these days where I'm having these lively debates, and it's actually really a bummer for me. I'm like, Lord, bring somebody in my life who will banter and argue with me. It brings me a lot of joy and a lot of life. I think that refuels me because it pushes me. I want to be pushed to think deeper or to think differently. Last example for me, sitting around a circle with women and the Bible, specifically what we're doing in Bible Lab, which is a lot of open discussion and figuring things out. Soon, I'm gonna update you on Bible Lab. I have so much stuff to tell you, and not enough Sundays in a week to get it out in front of you, but So much is happening in Bible Lab. It's wonderful. We are learning together, and I love the process of learning with people. I'm a with people learner. That's what refuels me. I don't want to simply huddle in a hole and learn by myself, although I do like that. I want to learn, and then I want to come back and I want to bounce it off people and see what sticks and see what doesn't, and get their insight. Because when they give me their insight and it combines with my insight, it's like we've got a whole new insight that is neither one of ours. It's like this other thing out here. And that is extremely refueling to me. Now take a listen to what my friends say is refueling to them.
And refueling, sleep is a big one for me. Getting to bed early, getting a good night's sleep, getting to sleep in, not have to get up, rush around. That's a big refuel. And lately I have a new hobby, which is horseback riding. And that is a real great way for self-care and refueling.
Refueling for me has looked like watering my garden a few times a day. I don't know why, but it has been very refueling. Other ways for me of refueling are being with a really good close friend or a few close friends and just getting to laugh, go deep, be real, be unguarded.
I refuel by seeing friends. I prioritize friendships a lot. So whether it's like a one-on-one coffee hangout or just going over to someone's house and hanging out with them and having a good conversation is super refueling to me. And having a good conversation also with my husband, or anything that feels like it's deepening our friendship.
I would actually say that reading a book would be refueling because I'm adding something into my day, like a fiction book, or even talking with friends about what God is doing in their life. That would be adding something into my life that provides refuel, gets me excited about what I'm doing or about what we're doing, about what God is doing.
I think gardening actually covers both resting and refueling, because the way I refuel is connection with God, connection with friends, connection with family, that kind of thing. So it's the conversations with all of those. And I do that a lot while gardening. I talk to God while I'm gardening. So that's that connection. It makes me feel rejuvenated and refueled.
Because I'm an introvert, I need to be alone. So that would be being alone by myself. The beach is really great for me, but just being alone and having quiet time where I don't have to be on or entertain or dialogue with anyone is really where I find refueling. I get my batteries filled back up.
Refueling is sometimes organizing a closet or making a meal plan for the week that I know is going to make my week easier, or getting outside, listening to worship music, spending time like listening to my truth group ladies, that kind of thing.
I would say being around like-minded people with the same passions and interests as me, as well as encouraging words from others. Nothing fires me up more than when someone encourages me and gives me a pat on the back and says, "You're doing a great job." Whether it's in motherhood, being a wife, or like my writing, anything like that, my teaching, that keeps me going.
Hope you got some really good ideas that you can implement from both resting and refueling, and that you try to strategically place these in your day or in your week. Here's the question: how do you refuel? What are your ideas? Please drop them in the comments below. I think it's so important to articulate these things. One, because it forces us to articulate it to ourselves, and then it gives other people ideas that they hadn't thought of. Please, in the comments below, let us know, how do you refuel? What does that look like for you? What do you add to your day or to your week that makes a difference for you? If you missed the rest video, you can find that right here, and I'll see you next week.